Hello everyone, my name is Sanjay Dua. I am the founder of Dua's Knowledge Portly. Welcome to yet another episode of Portly of Possibilities. World Bank, Indiana University, Oxford University. नाम काफी भारी लग रहा है, राइट? पर ये जिनकी कहानी आज हम करने वाले हैं, इनका लाइफ इन कंपनीज और इन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से नहीं बल्कि उनके डिसीजंस का रहा है. So I'm so glad to welcome one of my friend for today's episode of Portly of Possibility, Mr. Vicky Dheer. Welcome, Vicky, to Portly of Possibility.
Hi, Sanjay. Good to see you.
Welcome. Please have a seat. Welcome, Vicky, to Portly of Possibility.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you so much.
कैसा लग रहा है? How are you feeling?
Amazing. आपके साथ कैमरा में बात करने का मौका मिल रहा है. ऐसे बहुत हमने बात की है.
So I think just for our audience, Vicky has done his graduation and higher education from Oxford, Indiana, and probably और भी जितने A+ tier of colleges है across the world. So you have done it from them. Why I'm raising this point is, I want to understand and go behind the psyche of you as a person. Say, let me give you a reference point also. So it becomes easy for you to make us understand. So bachpan se when I was in school, okay, and teacher used to ask any question to me or to the class, मेरे को आंसर पता रहता था कि this is the right answer. लेकिन मेरा हाथ इतना ऊपर जाके वापस नीचे आ जाता था. So I was very conscious. I was not very confident about sharing my thoughts and expression and all. वही कुछ लोग ऐसे होते थे क्लास में जो कि क्वेश्चन खत्म नहीं होता था और they used to raise hand that I know the answer. So I want to know from you that how were you as a kid or during your school days, like what kind of thought process or what kind of, I would say, motivation you were having as a kid, because whatever you have done after that, I think it holds make lot of sense to understand your background in terms of your schooling and other stuff.
So I did my schooling from the Martnia in Calcutta, and till about class 8, or you can say the beginning of class 9, I was fairly introverted in the sense that I was also very quiet in class. I was an above average student. Teachers used to like me, but I was not very vocal with my opinions and all of that. In class 9, we had the opportunity to get involved with social organizations. Like we had Interact Club, Nature Club, a bunch of clubs in school, and get involved beyond sports. So I was not a very, very good sportsman, although I used to play sports, but that was not my forte. And once I got the opportunity to be part of these social organizations, I saw something which, I connected with.
Okay.
And that enabled me to be a little bit more vocal, because I had thoughts or ideas which then I could express.
Okay.
And it got reciprocated as well. We had a lot of social initiatives that we used to take, school fests, and as time progressed, by the time I was in class 12, I was a school prefect, Nature Club president, Interact Club director, and a bunch of other things, leading the school on various fronts. So that gave me more confidence along the way as well. So I think it was the teachers giving a lot of opportunity and recognizing the potential. Because usually क्या होता है स्कूल में कि you either get slotted in academics or in sports.
Sports, right.
But there are some teachers who come along, and I was fortunate to have some of those who actually saw the potential beyond these two areas, and then gave us wings, essentially to fly with what we are comfortable with.
So that's where the possibility was there.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you say that you're part of Nature Club president and lot of other school events, हमारे school में like the way we have undergone our school days and all, तो कोई बच्चा अगर बहुत smart होता था, like you were, right, who was very close to teachers, teacher used to like them, adore them, and कुछ भी होगा तो Vicky, come on this side, let's do this and all. तो you used to get those kind of comments in your school कि यार ये तो एक अलग league का है and all those stuff.
So थोड़ा evolve हो गया, essentially. Teachers used to like me, but my group of friends was, some of them were rather mischievous kinds.
Okay.
So I was called upon always कि उनको जाके आप थोड़ा समझाइए, उनको जाके आप ठीक करिए. तो कहीं ना कहीं it was like a balance of both, where I was having a lot of fun in school also because I had a very good group of friends who were beyond academics and sports and all of that. But also the fact that the teachers felt that I had the ability to achieve that balance. So balance has been the key, you can say, word in my life, or the catchphrase in my life, so I've always strived to achieve that more than anything else.
Great. So when you talk about balance in terms of maintaining your mischievous part also and academics and other aspect also, so this kind of seed was sown in your mind, obviously because of the environment. You were part of that school, that teachers kind of a thing. So, what made you, I would say, have this feeling or have that kind of a confidence in you that you can go all out to maybe the universities where you went for your education? So, why I'm asking this question, because a lot of people who are watching this, a lot of people have aspirations to go abroad for studies, to do something which people have never done. But kahin na kahin, there are 2 3 levers which pulls them down. Number one is either they are not confident or aware about their own potential, जहाँ पे बहुत सारे हम लोग fail कर जाते हैं. Number two, आपको आपके टीचर्स ने पहचान लिया that you have that kind of a potential. Lot of us in the environment, people don't give that much of time to understand the potential. Even in today's modern day world, they don't have time to understand कि इसके अंदर क्या potential and all. So I would say you were lucky enough to have, I think, those
Definitely.
aspects. But people who are watching and those who also aspire to grow in that kind of a university setup where you did your grad and MBA and all, so what kind of thought process you want to give it to today's generation, and what can help them to actually achieve that particular kind of a growth?
So essentially, I mean, before the world identifies your potential, you need to identify your potential by yourself as well. You need to have that self belief and confidence that I'm good at something, or I want to express something. You might struggle to do it. The vulnerability is always not bad.
Right.
Your fears are always not bad. It is your fears that, for example, I was always, whenever I got on the football field, I would always get hurt. So I was scared of playing football.
Okay.
Then there was one occasion where I actually went on the field and immediately fell, and a few people laughed. For others, it might be seem like a joke, कि मतलब उनका मजाक बन गया.
Right.
But वो जो fear था वो मजाक बन गया मेरे लिए. So that I think is key. So once you identify your own potential and you overcome your own fears, then the world only reacts and reciprocates to what you exhibit. The opportunities are right there. I mean, and in today's day and age with all the social media and so many different platforms and ideas, etc., kids have a lot of opportunity to explore their potential. Parents also more forthcoming in terms of pushing their children and recognizing that. You should allow the children to be jack of all trades. It's too much pressure to be a master of one at a very young age, because they eventually they will figure out, I think. And going back to the concept of balance, again, it stems from a fear. I have always been afraid of losing control.
Okay.
When you drive or when you're riding too fast, some people enjoy the adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
I was scared of losing control.
Okay.
And that fear of not wanting to lose control essentially poised my brain in a way that I always wanted that balance, that
And be
ये बहुत
grounded.
ज्यादा हो रहा है, इसको अभी कम कर दो, ये बहुत ज्यादा हो रहा है, इसको, and develop an ability to say no to things.
Okay.
I think that eventually becomes a strength, because I think where most people fail is because they say yes to everything.
Right.
Friends say कि have a cigarette, they'll say yes. Someone will say buy an expensive phone, they'll say yes in today's year. Let's get addicted to PlayStation or games, they say yes, because they don't know when to say no. So I think that fear of losing control achieves a sense of balance and creates an ability to say no. And that I think eventually becomes your strength.
Great. I think very interesting. You mentioned balance. You mentioned that fear and losing control. And the point that you mentioned, that before world identifies your potential, you have to identify yours, where you are good at. How to do that? The point is, in today's world, when I speak to so many people, they say, I'm not very sure what I want to do. There are people who are having midlife crisis, कि सब कुछ कर लिया है, सब कुछ है, फिर भी I'm not happy. And there are a lot of such scenarios where people are stuck at a point that they are not very sure what they want to from life.
हम लोग सोचते बहुत ज्यादा है यार, मतलब इतना सोचना नहीं चाहिए, to be very honest. I
Right.
think अगर आप कुछ कर रहे हैं जिसमें आपको मजा आ रहा है, eventually what you enjoy doing will identify your potential.
Okay.
You will not have the potential to do something and dislike it. It's never going to happen, right?
Absolutely.
तो आप जो भी करते हैं, चाहे आप कविता लिखते हैं, चाहे आप either you are
Even if you play cricket.
play cricket or
Yeah.
whatever you do, everyone does not go on to become a Dhoni. But because you enjoy playing cricket, you might become an administrator in a cricket league later in life, or you can become a sports therapist or something of that sort. You
Right.
don't know. But because you enjoy sports, it drives you. and their potential will be seen eventually.
True.
Just because you enjoy sports, you might be having an inherent potential of enjoying competitiveness. So you'll find a career or you'll find a passion which is more competitive in nature than maybe others.
Understand.
So I think it just you just focus on the things that you enjoy, and I think that's
Okay,
about it.
great point. So once you were going along in the journey of school, you did that. So what made you apply for the universities outside India?
So I mean, it's a funny story because I was fairly laid back because came from a family business background and everything of that sort. But I was good at math and English, and my friends were studying for the SAT and TOEFL, and I was helping them out. And they said, "जब इतना आता है तो एग्जाम ही ले ले क्या जाता है?"
Uh,
So, like I said, some things you just have to go with the flow. So I said,
right.
"ठीक है, exam ले लेते हैं." Once I took the exams, then for the US, especially in those days, I think they still probably have it. There was something called a Common App.
Okay.
Which I never even thought that I could go to an Ivy League college. So I didn't. Maybe I've underestimated myself, or I actually knew that I probably won't make it to those universities or whatever. So I used the Common App, and then I got through a bunch of universities because that one app gives you access to about 100
Okay.
universities.
Okay.
And then one of my friends and I, one of my closest friends and I, we got into the same university. Then जैसे रिश्ता होता है शादी के टाइम में पेरेंट्स बैठे तो one thing led to another, and the next thing I knew I was going to the US for my undergraduate studies.
Okay.
And then Oxford happened a little differently. I was working with Bank of America those days, and I was doing setting up the offshoring platform in Mumbai.
Okay.
And I was really enjoying what I was doing there. It was different from the deal side of things that I was earlier used to. And I wanted to move back to New York on the strategy side of the bank. And it was recommended that if you go and get a master's, it will be good. And I only applied to two universities, London Business School and Oxford. London Business School, I was waitlisted, or I was on, like, you had to retake the GPAT to get a higher score and kind of get it. And Oxford, I had been accepted. And I went and checked out those universities. And London Business School would be meeting a bunch of bankers all over again because that's the kind of environment they have. Whereas Oxford had a different vibe to it. It had legacy, heritage, and you would end up meeting a lot of people outside the MBA program from very diverse backgrounds.
Right.
And that really, caught my fascination. It was almost like you were in a fairy tale land, and things which you read and saw since
Now it's there.
since you were a child, and those pebbled roads and all of that. And then on the business card of any professor at Oxford, it spoke about the 800 years of heritage they had, legacy that had, and that is something which has always, driven me, inspired me. So it was a no-brainer for me that I would be going to Oxford at that
So
point.
is it because you did your undergrad from US that kind of prompted you to go for your masters also in other universities? Reason why I'm asking is because now you have tasted a kind of a, I would say, a feeler from a US university in your undergrad. And now when there is a decision for you to make whether to go out for MBA, did you also thought of doing it within India
So there were
university?
two reasons. One is that I was a little impatient in coming back into the workforce. I was not very keen on taking a break.
Okay.
And the UK MBA is a 15 to 18 month program, whereas
Understood.
the US is much longer. That was one reason. And secondly, having done my schooling in India and then my undergrad in the US, I genuinely felt also that, and in those days, there was a lot of talk about globalization and having a perspective which was more global in nature and all of that. So I thought having an experience in Europe would be, would kind of round
Okay.
it up as well. So it was like a win-win and a no-brainer in that sense. And it was nice playing cricket in France for the MB Olympics and all of that. So it kind of, it came a full circle. It was really nice. So, you had a flavor of all the different continents, and then you meet people from different countries, which I would meet anywhere in the world, I think. And it was a great experience overall. Yeah.
Great. So, any specific thing which you learned during your undergrad days in US, which were slightly different, and it helped or it evoked a kind of a thought process within you as an individual? Reason why I'm asking is because, say, in today's modern scenario, especially in Indian context, everything is there. People know what all things to expect, what kind of thought process is going on. All people who go abroad, they get a slightly different perspective in terms of a particular thing only, right? Even if you talk about diet, if you talk about globalization and all, so different industries and different I would say planets of people of planet, they see things in different perspective. Any specific thing which was starkingly different during your undergrad days over there?
So I just think that the Indian education system has its pros and cons, much like any other education system across the world. The Indian education system gives you a very solid base on theory. You have very strong understanding of
Conceptual.
concepts and all of that, right? So when I went to the US, so I was like I said, I was an above average student when I was in India, but I was an exceptionally good student when I went to the US.
Okay.
Part of the reason is that I was a very bad exam taker. So my scores never reflected my true
Potential.
understanding of the subject matter, which I had when I was in India.
Okay.
US had a more practitioner's approach and a more practical approach. And because my concepts were strong coming from India, and the assignment work or the scoring was also heavy on assignments and project work and all
Right,
of that.
right.
And even we used to joke that the questions were KBC style because there were multiple choice.
Yeah.
But you had to really know your concepts to be able to answer those multiple choice questions effectively.
Right.
So I did really well there as a student as well because of that reason. And when you bring the two together, it then becomes a formidable force in terms of understanding concepts and then putting it into application. Again, US is very heavy on internships and that. Secondly, wherever if a child gets an opportunity to go outside their comfort zone, which is their home, at a young age, and be independent, that is a true education.
Absolutely.
It's not inside the classroom. It's not in the books. The whole ability to take a decision whether I am under 21, should I drink? If I get caught with a drink, then what happens? Or should I not? Do anything. Should I spend an extra $10 in going out with my friends, or should I save that? You have to take a decision. And you're most importantly accountable for your decisions, because
Absolutely.
mom or dad are not going to come in a matter of 15 minutes to save you or to take care of the goof up that you've done. So those things actually then start building your character. Secondly, there are a bunch of you together, right? Same age group, peer group that you have. And you're actually falling back on one another to validate your decision making
Right.
in a lot of ways. And then those friends actually stay with you for life, because they have been part of your decisions which may not have made any sense. And then the repercussions of the decisions, they've carried the weight with you, over those years and in life in general. So that bond that you create with those friends also then takes you
Absolutely.
ahead in life.
I think very interestingly, you mentioned that independent decision maker, right? When you are alone, when you are not in your comfort, you have to take a decision. And if that decision holds good, you will be like congratulated for that. But if it goes bad, then only you are only responsible for that.
Exactly, yeah.
I think that's a very interesting point, because a lot of time our decision making, and when you mentioned there is a source of validation also. आपके जो दोस्त थे वहाँ, at least you were shedding off those ideas with them also. So there was kind of a validation which goes on. So I want to know, like, nowadays, like, and I think every single day as entrepreneur, as businessman, as an individual, we have to take n number of decisions in our life. So what's your thought process now? How you generally approach towards a decision making? Reason and why I'm asking this question is because if you search in Google, so I read somewhere that the way you put a question to Google, it will respond in that particular way.
Exactly.
Right? So for an example, if I put over there, what are the benefit of drinking orange juice? So it will give me the all good benefits of having an orange juice. If I write the question, is there a side effect of having orange juice?
True.
It will give response in terms of side effect. So there are a lot of information available in industry, in market, in social media. So when it comes down to decision making, I have seen leaders, they're not able to take decision because of lot of information. They're not able to take decision, like one thing you mentioned, fear of losing that control, and so many things. So what is your thought process? I want to go deep down into your thought
So
to understand that.
it's more than a process. It's an act, I feel, which I do subconsciously. Which is like people talk about manifestation a lot nowadays. That you manifest and it
Yes.
will come true. So whenever a big decision has to be taken, you take a lot of small decisions during the course of the day, which are largely impulsive and a mix of your experience,
Right.
right? Whenever you take a big decision, I kind of try to put myself in the situation where I start imagining if it's what would it be like if it was successful,
Okay.
and what it would be like if it failed,
Okay.
and then can I handle the success with the humility, or can I handle the failure without hitting rock bottom? So once I put myself in that situation, and I think that yes, I can handle
Both the extremes. Yeah.
both the extremes, without getting ruffled in any way, I go ahead and give it a shot.
Okay.
Because Kobe Bryant, the basketball player, said that you can't make the shot that you don't take. So you have
Right.
to release the ball from your hand and go for the hoop, and you'll see if it goes in or not. But you
Absolutely.
have to take that shot. So it's a very simple way of kind of
I love that. And I think
doing it.
just for, reconfirming that thought process, an amazing way. So when you say there is a good thing that can happen by taking that decision, there's a bad thing that can happen. Now, if a person is able to handle both the situation without losing humility and without getting ruffled up, I think go ahead and take that decision. I think that's a simplest way you can think of, taking a decision. Lovely, Vicky. Thanks for sharing that. So now, in your journey, when I was going through, you did Oxford, you did World Bank work and everything. There was a mention of something where you were associated with something called as a cause entertainment, where you got a chance to work alongside Shabana Azmi, Anurag Kashyap, and so many others. भाई हमारे यहाँ तो अगर दूर से फोटो भी कोई सेलिब्रिटी के साथ खींच लेते हैं तो उसमें ही खुश हो जाते हैं लाइक या वी हैव डन I met this person, he said hi to me and something, and you got a chance to work alongside them. Can you just run through what was
So
that assignment?
essentially, the MBA program at Oxford has something called the Skoll Foundation,
Okay.
which is funded by Jeff Skoll, who is and he supports social entrepreneurship
Okay.
in a very big way. And as part of my CSR ethical, and he has a company called Participant Media,
Okay.
which essentially invests in socially conscious movies and
Acha.
shows, etc.
Uh-huh.
And with each project, there is a social action initiative.
Okay.
So it does not stop with the movie. It takes a step further and gets people involved
Okay.
on the social action. And I found that concept to be very, very interesting. And I wrote a paper for my CSR and ethical marketing class under Dr. Kunal Basu, who was my professor. And it was to bring that concept to India in a lot of ways.
Okay.
Because Indian entertainment is largely based out of the social fabric that we have. And because I was an ex-banker, I understood funds, I understood finance and money. We structured it as a fund. So we would raise capital into a fund structure,
Okay.
and then deploy that into such projects, etc. With the idea that it has to be both economically viable
And
as
socially
well as
relevant.
create impact. And then, as luck would have it, the day I graduated, Lehman Brothers collapsed and the whole credit crunch happened and all of that. And I shifted back to India. And once I moved back to India, I had another friend who was a fellow banker. And we decided to start this together. And Dr. Kunal Basu was advising us. And then Dr. Arvind Singhal, who is a professor in the US, and he's a professor in entertainment education, in fact.
Okay.
So he also helped us out, and so these professors had a lot of connections with the film fraternity and the entertainment fraternity at large. And we had Shabana Azmi, ma'am, and we had Anurag Kashyap as part of our advisory panel
Okay.
to guide us as to the kind of social messaging and content creation that should be there. And this is pre-Netflix days, pre-Instagram
Right.
days, and pre all of that. Which I really generally believe that today's youth has the power to create that influence instead of
Absolutely.
the reels that we all enjoy and everything of that sort. But the real power lies in content creation and to create impact in a lot
Right.
of ways. And in fact, it was not something which was new to India. It was started with a series called Hum Log
Okay.
in the 80s under the Indira Gandhi government. And there was a whole ecosystem of entertainment education that it existed across the world.
Okay.
There's a gentleman called by the name of Mr. Miguel Sabiro who was doing a lot of good work in Mexico. And then I had started getting into that ecosystem, and we also had the opportunity to participate in MINTIF in Berlin, which was led by the German government. And so, as part of all of that, is where I had the opportunity to
To
work
meet
with
these.
these great minds and learn so much from them at that point as well.
What was it like working with them?
I think it's great because I think a lot of people are limited by the persona that we see of
Yeah.
them on television or on screen and all of that. But in their own journeys, they've learned so much and they've created so much impact along the way. Like Shabana ma'am and the Aparna Sen she was also part of our advisory board.
Right.
They've created such good impact along the way, which sometimes maybe may not get talked about. And we were two 25, 26-year-old kids, and there was no reason for them, whether it was Dr. Arvind Singhal or the individuals from the film fraternity, to engage with us. We were kids, but they felt there was some genuine effort towards something, and they really guided us, helped us, and did a lot of things for us along the way. And it would be nice if it would have worked out. It didn't work out because of not the effort on the education side or the entertainment side, but more on the capital side. There were some restrictions because that's how the markets were evolving then, and the investor base had some issues. So we had to kind of not go ahead with it at that point. But the effort from that actually led to that stint with the World Bank that you mentioned,
Right.
where they were doing a project on entertainment education, and we got selected as consultants to work on that because we had done some work on that in that area. And now with the kind of power that content creation has, I think it's a great opportunity, to do something like
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. Great. So after working with all those people from film fraternity, working in World Bank, getting into Oxford, इतना अगर हमारे साथ हो जाता है तो like चलो गंगा नहा आए. Yeah, everything is done. And people, there are a lot of people who feel that if they have been associated with any of these where you have been, I think yeah, life is sorted and we are at peace. सब कुछ हो गया, मिल गया and all. But then you left everything. And I think we want to deliberate more on that aspect. Leaving everything, coming back to your 70-year, family business back in Calcutta. So why, and before you say like why you moved and all, I want to know like what was happening in your mind. Reason why I'm asking is because a lot of thoughts being generated when you take such kind of a decision, right? So generally people take decision in two aspect. एक, मैं रेडी हूं तो चलो डिसीजन ले लेता हूँ, बाहर क्या हो रहा है पता नहीं चलता है. सेकेंड सिनेरियोज होते हैं, इन्वायरमेंट इज कंड्यूसिव तो चलो आज डिसीजन लेते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल कोविड के टाइम पे था ना कि ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर कम हो रहे थे एंड लाइक नहीं मिल रहा था, महंगा हो रहा था, तो बहुत लोग बोले चलो यार ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर का ही बिजनेस करने लगते हैं बिकॉज दे वर सीइंग दैट पोटेंशियल इन द मार्केट, तो चलो वो करते हैं. So these are the two ways generally I have seen people taking decision, either intrinsically driven, either like environmental driven. So what was your thought process in taking a decision, leaving everything and
I
coming
don't
back?
think it was any kind of too much thinking behind a decision that had to be taken. Uh, I've always largely gone with the flow of things.
So what
And
happened in that scenario?
so I was interviewing with a bunch of banks. I was in Calcutta and visiting my family. My wife was expecting, and I was in between roles. And my father asked me if I would, because I was in between roles, I would, help out or give the business a shot. And to be very honest, when I was in class 1 or 2, teachers ask you, "Ke bade hoke kya banna?" and you write something.
Right.
And I always idolized my father. And I said, I saw him as a businessman and an entrepreneur. So I said, I want
I
to
want
grow
to
up and be a
become.
businessman. So, me eventually coming back to this is probably a manifestation from class 2, which. So, I always thought of it very highly. And, the world, because wherever I got to, the platform was set by my father, my mom, and whatever he was able to build from that, he was able to give me those opportunities to go and, explore and see the world in a different light. And then my wife supported me in every single decision that I've taken. And, some of them, there were times which were a little more difficult, and then standing by me during those times and making sure that, you don't get beat during those times as well. Because honestly, the business was very old, I think, but I was very new to it.
Right.
So it was, I that had to learn. And there was more thoughts from the world than from me.
I was about to
Yeah,
ask.
उनको ज्यादा लगता था कि ये ऐसे क्यों कर
क्यों
रहा
कर
है,
रहा है, हाँ.
ऐसा क्या हो गया,
Right.
and everything of that sort.
So
But
how do you used to handle those scenarios?
so it never bothered me. Like I said, because I've always tried to achieve that sense of balance and everything of that sort. मेरा एक ही चीज रहता है कि whatever you're doing at that point of time, you give it your best shot,
At that
and you have
point,
to
right.
make sure that वो चीज अच्छे से हो. Today we're having this conversation, and the idea is that we enjoy this conversation, and it turns out to be a nice afternoon kind of thing, and that is the idea. इसके पहले क्या होगा, इसके बाद क्या होगा, it's
Being in that
too
present
much
thing.
baggage to carry. So if you make sure that you're giving your best on every single day and whatever activity you're doing, the result is the best
Right.
that you can get. When that starts compounding, the eventual result is good, and I'm happy with those decisions that I took. I could have been, you know, maybe an MD at an investment bank in the US, and then someone might say that you're so far away from home, and how do you live with that, and what kind
Yeah.
of a decision is that? So, I mean, in retrospect, the world is going to question you on every decision that you take.
Absolutely.
But you have to be comfortable with it and happy with it and keep growing with it, I think, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
And I think it's very simple. We tend to complicate it too much here.
True. I think बोला ना कि people will always question you. Right? I was seeing a particular picture where a husband and wife, they were going in a desert area. उनके साथ एक ऊँट था, camel था. So the husband was sitting on that ऊँट and wife was walking along. तो बाहर जो लोग देख रहे थे वो बोलते हैं यार कैसा आदमी है, वाइफ को पैदल चला रहा है एंड खुद बैठा हुआ है वहाँ पे. तो ही गॉट थोड़ा अपसेट. ही सेड ओके यार लेट मी गेट डाउन. तो ही गॉट डाउन एंड आस्क्ड वाइफ टू गेट ऑन द कैमल. अब वाइफ बैठ के चल रही है एंड हस्बैंड नीचे चल रहा है. तो हमारे होता है ना पैट्रियार्कल में बोला जाता है भाई जोरू का गुलाम है कि वाइफ को बैठा दिया और खुद नहीं बैठ रहा है. फिर और गुस्सा हो गया. बोला यार चल दोनों बैठ जाते हैं. जब दोनों बैठ के जाने लगे तो सेम सेट ऑफ पीपल वेयर सेइंग दैट यार इनको दिमाग नहीं है, एक अकेला जानवर और उसमें दो भारी लोग बैठ गए हैं, ये कैसा है इंसाफ. तो बोले यार ये भी नहीं हुआ. तो दोनों उतर गए नीचे कि चल यार लेट्स नॉट सिट ओनली. सेम सेट ऑफ पीपल अगेन सेइंग यार जब पैसा लेके ऊँट लिया ही है, बैठेगा नहीं तो वेस्ट हो गया. तो आई थिंक व्हेन यू से दैट पीपल विल ऑलवेज हैव ओपिनियन.
तो सबसे इसमें आपकी स्टोरी में सबसे फोकस ऊँट है.
ऊँट है,
उसको मालूम है उसको पॉइंट ए टू पॉइंट बी जाना है.
Exactly.
और अच्छे से लेके जाए. जो बैठेगा उसको वो
उसको
लेके
लेके जाना
जाएगा.
है.
वो
True.
जो कोई नहीं बैठेगा वो फिर भी जाएगा.
Absolutely.
तो आपको ऊँट की तरह अपने
फोकस
फोकस रख के आपको अपने गोल की तरफ चलना है.
ब्रिलियंट. सो आई थिंक दिस इज अ ग्रेट लर्निंग फॉर ऑल द ऑडियंस बिकॉज आजकल बोलते हैं ना लोग अपने दुख से ज़्यादा दुखी नहीं होते हैं, वो दूसरे के सुख से ज़्यादा दुखी हो जाते हैं. आई थिंक वेरी सिंपली विकी मेंशन दैट यू हैव टू वेरी क्लियर वेयर यू वांट टू मूव फ्रॉम ए टू बी विदाउट थिंकिंग टू मच अबाउट what people having thoughts and all. But having said all those things, kahin na kahin as human being, when you have that kind of a, I would say a baggage, good baggage of Oxford, of other thing, जब ये डिसीजन लेते हैं यू नो लीविंग एवरीथिंग या वेरी क्लियर सॉर्टेड, डोंट ओवर कॉम्प्लिकेट, बट वी ऑल एंड ऑफ द डे वी आर ऑल ह्यूमन बींग्स. वी हैव दोज इमोशंस, वी हैव दोज काइंड ऑफ macro expression, micro expression going within us, talking to us, क्या कर रहा है क्या नहीं. So was there any kind of a dilemma, I would say, or kind of a self-talk that you were having with yourself at that point in time?
See, whatever part of your journey you're on, it becomes very difficult if you think that is the end. I said during my school days, I was part of Interact Club and all of that. We used to visit senior citizens facility and go and spend time with them, right? Every Thursday we used to do that for an hour or two in the afternoon. There was a gentleman there, Mr. Fernandez, and we all used to want to go and talk to him because he had wonderful stories to tell.
Okay.
He had served in the army and a bunch of things. He had seen World War II and a lot of things he had seen. And those 2 hours उनके साथ कैसे बीतता था ना हमें पता ही नहीं चलता था. Because it was very interesting, because he had a lot of interesting, he was alone finally, but he had a lot to share,
yeah.
right? And everyone wants to become famous enough to write an autobiography or whatever it is, but it is basically eventually when you write your story, right? It has to be interesting. and needs to be worth a watch
Right.
for yourself.
Yeah.
Or when you're 80, 90, 95, whatever it is, and you're narrating it to grandchildren or
Yeah.
great grandchildren, they should want to spend that time with you because those
मैंने
stories
ऐसा
are
किया है.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting है, हाँ.
Absolutely.
तो if you build your life accordingly, वो decision सही था, गलत था, गलत को सही कैसे किया, सही को गलत कैसे हो
Rather
गया.
take that as an
हाँ,
experience.
तो वो क्या है कि अगर आपने मान लिया कि ऑक्सफोर्ड ही मेरे जर्नी का एंड था, या आज फैमिली बिजनेस ही मेरी जर्नी का एंड था, या आज मैं जो कर रहा हूँ यही आई विल बी डूइंग एट दैट व्हेन आई एम 80 85 आल्सो, और व्हाटएवर एज दैट माइट बी, then that is the problem.
True.
The problem is if it is a continuous process. This is a page in the chapter or
Chapter.
a chapter in the book,
Uh-huh.
or a book in a series of books, or whatever you want to look at it, then it is continuous. And once you have that approach, I think you don't carry the weight or the baggage.
Becomes very simple.
Baggage कोई है ही नहीं, because हो सकता है वो एक पैराग्राफ एक पन्ने का, या एक पन्ना एक चैप्टर में.
Great. So, how do you practice these kind of thoughts? Is there a way you practice? लोग बोलते हैं ना, एक हैक आजकल चला हुआ है, हैक ऑफ थिंकिंग सिंपली.
अगर आपको मार्केट करना है तो आप ये सब बोल सकते हो, लेकिन at the end of the day it is experiences and just chatting with people around you, and I think having an inherent sense of observation also, and as you move along and get more experience in life, whether it's relationships or business or anything else, your perspectives change. Just to give you a simple example, 4 or 5 years ago, I would say that, which many people say, कि if you want to be happy, don't have any expectations.
Yeah.
Right? It's a very common thing which people say.
Correct.
About 2 weeks ago, I had this realization कि expectation तो होगा ही यार.
होगा.
Disappointment भी होगा ही उन
होगा.
expectations में.
Right.
तो लाइफ का सोल्यूशन ये नहीं कि एक्सपेक्टेशन मत रखो. लाइफ का सोल्यूशन ये कि अगर आप जब डिसअपॉइंट होगे, जैसे आपका ब्रेकअप हुआ, आप कितने जल्दी मूव ऑन करोगे.
So that time period of
moving on and not
Absolutely.
holding on to that disappointment.
Absolutely.
So once you're able to cultivate that, I feel it becomes very easy.
Absolutely.
Because जैसे वो मुन्ना भाई में वो बोलता है कि फिर एक दिन ऐश्वर्या आई,
हाँ.
तो that is the thing, he moves on very quickly.
Absolutely.
And that is the way of, I think, being balanced or being content or happy or
In
whatever.
fact,
it
it
is.
reminds me of the latest, a state which I am understanding from one of the coaches, which is called as a guru state or a supreme state of consciousness. It says that when individuals are working, if they are operating from that guru state or that supreme state, their acceptance of things is slightly, more easy compared to the people who are not working at that state. उसमें बोलते हैं, उसने पूछा कि nobody is like a superhuman that they can be at that supreme state or a guru state throughout their life. बोलते हैं नहीं, they'll fall down. वो state से deviation आएगा. And like what you mentioned, how quickly you can come back to that guru state, that defines the entire journey.
Yeah, absolutely. I think expectation होगा तो expectation fulfill भी होगा और disappoint
भी
भी
होगा.
होगा ही होगा. With people it will happen, with processes it will happen, with financial outcomes it will happen.
एंड डिसअपॉइंटमेंट के बाद आप वापस फिर से कहाँ ऊपर आते हैं. बहुत लोग होते हैं ना यार, मैं सुना था किसी से, बोला यार 16 मार्च 2002 को उसने मेरे को ऐसा बोला. मैंने कहा यार 2002 को बोला, and we are sitting in 2025 2026, you are still thinking about that. It means you have not been able to come across to that thing.
Correct. So I mean the ability to move on, यार. I mean that's what it is.
Absolutely.
आप अपने बच्चे को डांटते हो, बच्चा अगले दिन फिर आपके साथ आके खेलने आ जाता है.
तो आप थोड़ी
Because
बोलते हैं.
वो बच्चा हमेशा खुश रहता है. क्यों खुश रहता है? क्योंकि they haven't learned how to hold on to that
Yes.
disappointment yet.
Letting go is something, I think, a very interesting point again, and for our audience, again, reiterating that let go of those kind of a thing. कभी disappointment है, वापस आना है. And as human being, we can always expect we are disappointed, but आप कितनी जल्दी वापस आ जाते हैं, I think that is something which is a great thing to learn. Now, Vicky, you have taken so many decisions in your life. You have seen life journey. एंड लाइफ में बोलता ना, हमेशा एक क्रेस्ट और ट्रफ में आते हैं. कभी समुद्र की लहर बहुत ऊंची होती है, कभी वो नीचे जाती है. सो व्हेन यू आर एट दैट ब्रिमिंग पोजीशन, ऊपर में रहते हैं, एवरीथिंग फील्स गुड, स्टेक होल्डर्स आर हैप्पी, योर फैमिलीज आर हैप्पी, एवरीवन इज लाइक सुपर एक्साइटेड. जब वो नीचे आता है, एंड आई एम टेलिंग यू फ्रॉम माई पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस, व्हेन यू आर एट दैट ट्रफ, certain point in time or at certain space you are alone, you are completely alone. अब वहाँ पे how do you take those decisions to come back to that particular thing? Because जब सब कुछ अच्छा चल रहा है तो सब अच्छे ही हैं, लेकिन जब आप उस ट्रफ में आते हैं when things are not moving as per your requirement or as per the societal environment or your family requirements or anywhere, how do you manage that kind of a situation at that point in
I
time?
think you just have to wait.
And do what?
You have to play the waiting game, because when you're going to bat for 50 overs, like in a cricket match,
Right.
you can either score a single of every ball and get to 300, or you can hit boundaries and sixes and everything. Fact of the matter is, if you're going to bat for 50 overs, you're going to get those loose balls. Bowler कभी ना कभी गलती करेगा, कभी ना कभी आपके सामने वो opportunity आएगी कि you can dispatch it to the fence. But you have to have that ability to bat for 50 overs. That is what is most important. You have to leave the ball, you have to duck for the bouncer, you have to tap the ball, you have to do everything possible. The idea is to bat for 50 overs. So it's not like any one of our careers or any one of our lives have been just skyrocketing like that or anything of that sort, right? But those that have waited it out, waiting for the next opportunity and not get frustrated and making sure that every day they're giving it their best, given the circumstances or whatever it is. I think that's what it is, because आपकी लाइफलाइन भी जब ऊपर नीचे है सारा टाइम, जब स्क्रीन मॉनिटर पे उसको देखते हैं तो लाइफ तो ऊपर नीचे होगी. So because it is a part and parcel, I think, and just have to
I think you're saying it very simply. It's part and parcel. ऐसे ही होता है. But if you actually understand and rightly mentioned, if people make it simple, it's easy. But difficult part for a lot of people with whom I have interacted and keep on interacting is that simplistic thing is not that simple. And people either they don't know, either they don't have practiced that, like you have practiced and implemented thing, that even for a simple thing lot of complex thoughts goes in. As you say कि जब नीचे जा रहा है तो waiting game खेलो कि यार ठीक है ना कभी तुम. Now how many people have that kind of a patience to play that waiting game during that particular journey?
So because see, when you're scaling in life and you're going on the upward trajectory, you're sitting every day and strategizing
Right.
how to continue that upward trend. But when you're going down or when you're plateauing in a lot of ways, we stop strategizing. We start taking the burden. You have to strategize on how to play the waiting game as well. कि मेरे को कैसे वेटिंग गेम खेलना है. अगर मेरे एक्सपेंसेस 100 थे और मेरे को अभी इस वेटिंग गेम के दौरान मेरे को उसको 80 करना है, तो आप बैठ के डिसाइड करो कि आप उसको 80 कैसे लेकर आओगे. When you're putting your mind and your intellect towards something constructive during that waiting game, you will bounce back. Most people who are unable to bounce back or get into a
depressed mode.
mental state
Yeah.
which is not favorable is because of the fact that they stopped doing what they were good at, which was strategizing during that growth phase when they were doing well. And they just leave it. Playing the waiting game does not mean कि मैं विकेट छोड़ के साइड में खड़े हो जाऊं और होप करूं कि बॉल विकेट को नहीं लगेगी. I still have to have the same focus on every ball to tap the ball while
So
waiting
you
for the
practice
loose.
that even
No, I'll give you a simple example. I joined my father's business and we did everything. And in 2018, I think there was a fire in our market.
Okay.
And everyone had to get displaced. Fortunately for us, there was no loss of goods and stuff for us, and we were fine by the grace of God. But when I came back home, after the whole thing happened, I went into my room, I sat down, and this was just pre the festive season, which is very important for our business. And I had made a list of my most reliable clientele and customer base. And the next morning, I called them because I knew we were going to be shut for about a month or two, and there would be no place to work out of because of the damage that had happened to the facilities. And I called them and I said, I had pre-ordered a lot of stuff, hoping that all of us have a good festive season. So I'm going to be dispatching these goods starting tomorrow. We can work out the payment terms because obviously it's going to be more burden for you guys
to keep
to
that.
kind of handle. And we'll talk about all of that at a later point of time. But as of now, let me just dispatch. And they were very helpful, and they were like happy to help out with taking the goods. So what happened is that people were moving saved goods from the warehouses into other facilities and spending a lot of money to
Keep that over there.
shift that
Right.
material.
And you decided to sell
I
it to the
decided to
customers.
sell. So if I go back and look at data during that period of 2 weeks while the shift was happening,
Sale was the highest.
my sales was probably the highest that I had experienced, because even my customers bought technically more than they
Yeah,
would have
yeah.
bought
Correct,
otherwise.
correct.
And that started a cycle of actually later on, after the plateau period, with the ability to bounce back. So I could come back home and think, oh, it's all messed up now. What do we do? And
Right.
just, probably whine about it in some way. But the impulse was to basically strategize to how manage that and, kind of create a
So you-
temporary growth opportunity.
So
at
you
least.
created out possibility out
Yeah,
of thin air.
Exactly. Because it's all there in front of us. So not only did I was able to sell in that period, I was able to save on cost as well, which would be required to shift. And then that gave me enough time to find a place, to restructure ourselves and all of
Brilliant.
that. And so it's basically stuff like that, So anyone will think a damage like that or a event like that can be heartbreaking, and it happened for a lot of people, and some of them had to work really hard to come out of it, and and we were lucky, I would say. But it is that mindset, I guess, that one has to create over a period of time, that this too shall pass, as they say. Like, it's just a phase.
Yeah, tough time.
Yeah, so
Never-
nothing will last forever.
Yeah.
Even when you're at your peak, you should be aware that even this will not last forever.
Right.
And you have to figure out ways to either find the next growth stage for yourself, or you will hit a plateau. You will hit a downward curve.
Great. I think very interesting, and that opportunity that you created when everything was like haywire, that was commendable. And that's how, like, normally people have to take decision in terms of. And when you say rightly that when we are in plateau stage, generally the thought process is to think of negative, or rather yaar nahi move ho raha hai, we are stuck. And thinking and bounce back and think of more growth from that stage, I think that keeps the graph running.
Correct.
And brilliant, Vicky. One last question from you. You have seen different industries, you have seen different market, you have seen different organization and everywhere. If I ask you, and obviously for our Portly also, okay, what are some of the areas where there are a lot of potential? It can be internally, it can be externally for an audience. There are a lot of areas which potentially has a lot of possibility to explore, but somehow we are not able to see that. Somehow people are not willing to see that, and somehow people are not trained to see that. So there are three aspects. So you can see कि आज फायर हुआ है तो चलो इन्वेंट्री अपना खत्म करके सेल बढ़ा सकते हैं. Not everyone can think of that. Normally people say चल बचा लेते हैं, right? You are thinking of playing more aggressive. So most of the people are not trained for that. Most of the people don't want to see that, and we have never seen that example from people like you कि बस इस सिचुएशन में ऐसा भी कर सकते हैं. So what could be your thought process to those people, to those audience in those kind of scenarios, so that what Vicky Dheer has done in terms of strategizing the business and all, lot many Vicky Dheers, lot many people who want to take decision in that way can actually explore that Pandorum box.
So I think what is very important, at least from a business standpoint, is you cannot stop innovating if you're an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Innovation is the key, and I'm not talking about making the next electric bulb or
I got it.
all of that. What happens is that when you spoke about the curve, right? We all hit that peak as well.
Right.
And I've often spoken about this, the bell curve. When you hit that peak, there are two things that happen. Either you say कि मैं number 1 पे पहुंच गया हूँ, अब मैं इसको maintain करना है मेरे को.
Right.
And most people start focusing on मेरे को इसको maintain
Maintain
करना है.
करना, right.
आप जब मेंटेन करेंगे तो आप फ्लैट हो जाएंगे आस्ते आस्ते. यू स्टार्ट प्लेटोइंग.
Right.
At which point there will be someone else who's innovating and will
Move up.
But if you're innovating, then a new life cycle starts
True.
at that peak, and then you go further on in life.
So your peak is actually
I
getting
spoke
changed.
about it in one of the posts that I wrote once, that Apple could have ended as an iPod company, but they disrupted and destroyed the iPod to get the iPhone.
iPhones, right.
And today a lot, probably the younger generation does not even know what the iPod was.
Yeah.
But that was their key product in those days.
Yes.
And they said कि ये iPod खत्म कर देंगे तो फिर क्या बनाएंगे?
Correct.
but that was the next stage of innovation that they came up with. And a company like that, if they continue to innovate, you won't be surprised that someday the iPhone gets killed for something
different. Yeah,
something different, right?
absolutely.
And that is what is, I think, most important for anyone, be it in your personal space or professional space. I had an MD who once told me that during my banking days that the day the day you stop learning or the day you start making a process out of whatever you do, it's time to move on.
Okay.
So I think that is what is most important. You cannot stop that innovation within yourself, within your organizations, within your teams. Try to do something new at least, so that a new life cycle may germinate from that. Right?
Great. I think very enlightening
That was wonderful.
thoughts, Vicky. And I think for our audience also who are watching here also and also on video, I think truly mesmerized by your learning. जैसा मैंने बोला, if you have done those kind of universities, grad and undergrad, एक अलग level का एक feeling आ जाता है. But still, and the charge that you mentioned, that कीड़ा of innovation, striving to do something different, the way you take decision, make it more simplistic rather than overcomplicating, and how those grounding techniques of balance which you spoke about, at every scenario, and being independent. I think that was one thing which was very profound, that once you are out of your comfort and you are owner of your own decision, whether good or bad, I think that is more important.
Absolutely.
And the way that strategy of selling your inventory as a sale rather than saving that was a master stroke, I would say. And that's where your entire journey evolved further. So I think that's a great way to understand that possibility exists at every point in time. It's not that you have to be prepared mentally or external environment. You have to continuously look out to do something new, something different. That's what has kept Vicky into the business for last so many years. And it was a great privilege, Vicky,
Absolutely a pleasure, and
to have you over
I'm
here.
glad I got a chance to chat with you.
Great. And your thoughts were mesmerizing, and it was, I am sure audience would have liked it more. So that's it from our this episode of Portly of Possibilities. Thanking once again Vicky for gracing this occasion, and see you on other side of Portly of Possibilities with yet another guest. Till then, happy learning, happy growth, and keep innovating as you can. Thank you so much.